touch. Do let us know your name so we can get you personally involved in the show.
Now, in a week when most front pages were again dominated by the pandemic, we've taken a deep dive into the papers and had a look at some of the week's other talking points.
Joining us are comedian and writer Njambi McGrath and business entrepreneur and apprentice interviewer Linda Plant. Hello there, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Morning.
So, Linda, you're starting us off with a story that takes you back to your early business years.
Yes, I am. I'm leading with a story headline: UK tracksuit shortage as Brits swap loungewear while working from home. So, retail giants such as ASOS and JD Sports have said they are both experiencing a loungewear shortage following a spike in sales during the first nationwide coronavirus lockdown. This is reportedly down to factories across the world being halted a bit to slow down the spread of COVID-19. There have been difficulties in shipping and online orders to shoppers, and as a result, a number of workers on each shift and social distancing has actually created a shortage.
So there's a tracksuit shortage. Do you have enough? Are you a big tracksuit fan?
I'm a huge tracksuit fan, and actually even today I'm wearing a Chanel blouse with a tracksuit bottom.
Oh no!
Is it Chanel tracksuit bottom?
Yeah. And actually, see, you can mix anything you like, because with the fashion world experience of mine, you can. But I'm not surprised there is a shortage of leisure wear. Absolutely not.
I mean, your image on The Apprentice, I just can't believe you're wearing tracksuit bottoms. It's all ruined now. It's blown away. For me, Njambi, I borrowed my son's tracksuit bottoms when lockdown started, but I felt in Zoom meetings and some Instagram lives I did, I was sort of more casual in the way I did it. I actually wasn't as good. I need a tighter pair of trousers to sort of make sure I'm good on air. Njambi, would you wear tracksuit bottoms?
Yeah, why not? Nobody can see you, their lower half, so, nobody really cares what you're wearing. Yeah, I'm not surprised either, because, in the workplace, it tends to be very stuffy. People wear very uncomfortable clothes, high heels and tight clothes and everything. And then, with the COVID, people are working from home and they realize actually you can let loose, you can just work, I don't know, in a more comfortable fashion sense, if you like.
Have you been letting loose in other ways? Or is it mainly through tracky decks?
Who, me?
Yes.
I don't wear a bra. I'm a writer. I spend most of my time in my bedroom writing, so nobody really knows, what. Like, I'm loving it, actually, not having to, to go to town with, making yourself look presentable. It's great. Obviously, it's sad because these people in the factories have lost their jobs and everything, and this also highlights the global need to perhaps maybe rethink the way things are working currently.
But on the upside, we can all look really, really rough and no one cares. So you've got a second story, Njambi.
Yeah, it's a story about the future, isn't it?
Yeah, I do indeed. So this is a story from the Telegraph that says that robot judges that can determine guilt will be the commonplace in 50 years. And this is based on a 2-year study, which is basically going to be published in next year. And it is by an AI expert, by Terence Mowry, who thinks that robots that analyze the defendant's body language to determine signs of guilt will replace modern judges by the year 2070. And this will be able to detect signs of lying, which obviously humans cannot detect signs of lying.
Have you got a PhD in AI, or were you a hacker or something? Am I remembering that wrong?
No. Basically, my degree is in IT, and
yes.
For my dissertation, I did hackers in cyberspace.
Right, and so does this seem like a feasible idea to you?
It depends on who is writing the programs. We all know the frustrations we feel basically when we're using like modern technology. How many of you have tried to say something to Siri? Like Siri doesn't actually recognize my voice. If you don't speak in a standard way, if you've got an accent, then basically you're going to find yourself falling short. So this worries me greatly because I speak with an accent, and B, my body language, perhaps maybe, it may not even recognize some traits. So that worries me greatly. But I like the fact that they say that they'll be able to recognize and be able to tell liars clearly. If I was a judge right now, I'll be out there protesting that if they're not able to detect who is lying and who is not based on their body language.
Quickly, Linda, does this worry you at all?
Yes, it does. I think there's a place
that point on, humans being the best judge of other humans leads me neatly onto my story, which is that it was a story in The Guardian, and the headline read, Reddit website allows people to ask millions of strangers to judge their moral dilemmas. And it was about the fact that we are outsourcing our moral decisions to the masses, so that the idea that morality has become untethered from absolute ethical codes, and that we now ask large groups to determine whether our actions were right or wrong. What do you think about that? Have discussion forums overtaken religious teaching as a way of guiding ourselves, Linda?
Look, I really believe this is like, to me, I've simplified it. It's asking the internet to vote on what you think you've done or something, and I can't really accept that. I think so many issues are personal, and I don't want to ask a faceless group of people because there's so much more involved. So I really feel that that's not a place to go. I don't want to share my feelings or ask someone, I've said this, I've done this, is it right or wrong, and people to vote. It's not for me. I really don't feel that asking the internet, a faceless group of people, will really judge or affect my dilemma.
Yeah,
So Njambi, I like this story so very much that I posted a dilemma. I have had this issue with Sean, that he just doesn't make enough of an effort in the way he turns up to work. I mean, I've repeatedly mentioned the jeans. I suppose it's a mercy he's not coming in his sweaty petties. But, I suppose it's Elise jeans. But as you've heard, he likes to wear a tight trouser. Otherwise he doesn't.
I did say that, didn't I?
You did just say that, yeah. So I posted this. I always make a big effort with my clothes for work, as in our line of work presentation is important. However, my colleague dresses very casually for work. He turns up in jeans and trainers. When I've spent time putting together an outfit which is suitable, I started to feel like this reflects badly on me and the whole team, and I have voiced my disapproval of his scruffiness. However, he just keeps saying he feels more comfortable dressed down, and he doesn't want to compromise. Now, what Reddit said, 61% of people voted, like it's annoying person. Am I an annoying person? 61% of people thought that I was in the wrong.
Yes.
And I got an absolute pasting in the comments.
So,
there were things like, you're his colleague, not his boss. You sound like a job's worth.
Yes.
Leave him alone. It's not your business what he wears. You are not his boss. And then one man even said, this man is a saint for putting up with you. So that's me told. So I think it's rubbish, and we definitely shouldn't outsource.
I love the internet. I love all those comments. Thank you very much. And you're not my boss. Remember that, Sally.
I know that.
Look, I've got a story. It's a bit of a handbrake turn, really. My story's in The Independent. The headline reads, Jewish group condemns auction of Hitler speeches in Germany. So last week, a leading rabbi criticised a Munich auction house's decision to sell several of Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler's handwritten speeches, saying it defies logic, decency and humanity to put them on the market. He thought it was particularly worrisome in light of recent figures showing a rise in anti-Semitism in Germany. Now, on Friday, get this, one of the speeches sold for £30,000 to an anonymous bidder. Linda, for me, I mean, this is history. These things should be in museums. They should be labelled properly, and we need to learn from them. But if someone's making that amount of money from a Hitler speech, that's quite worrying, isn't it?
Well, I don't feel that Hitler's speeches should be sold.
No, it might have some.
I believe they belong in a museum. Very shortly, we will have no more Holocaust survivors. So I think that was the chief rabbi of Germany consulted? Who was consulted on this? Just to sell these speeches? I'm very, very upset about it because I don't think it's right. I think they need to be preserved. They need to be in a museum. There's a great museum in Berlin. And I myself had many, many years ago, had a lodger from Germany. He was a refugee. And when he died, I donated books, speeches, memorabilia to the Jewish Museum.
Thank you, Linda. Njambi, what's your take on this?
Well, this one is one that is going to raise a lot of trauma amongst the Jewish community, because every time somebody benefits from somebody who committed genocide against the Jewish community is bound to raise a lot of upset and a lot of hurt. And I completely get it. I don't think we need to be scrutinizing the person who is buying these pictures. What use are they going to be using them for? And of course, if they're going to put them in a museum so that everybody can learn from it. And it brings a lot of hurt and trauma. I myself was in Belgium and I saw the statue of King Leopold II, a man who butchered 10 million Africans. And I basically got on my knees and I wept because such things cause so much trauma to people. And it's a painful one. And
they certainly do. Njambi, I'm afraid we're out of time. Njambi and Linda.
Thank you so much for joining us, both of you.